one's coming to save you. So what are you gonna do about it? Raw Minds on men's mental health. Hosted by Erick. For the ones we never meet.
Listen, this one hits close. I found this guest through something I care deeply about, men's mental health. Late night, real conversations, no filters, just people opening up about what they're going through. And one person kept showing up, holding space for it, and that's Candice, also known as Ninja from South Africa. A mom raising a son on the autism spectrum, level 2 ADHD, real life pressure most people don't understand. But instead of folding, she built something. She started going live, talking about autism, mental health, and even men's mental health, a space where a lot of guys don't speak at all. That turned into Ninja Talks awareness movement, a movement helping parents, helping people struggling, helping those who feel like they're carrying everything alone. And I've been in those lives. I've seen it. It's real. It's raw. It's people actually opening up. And that's why I wanted her here, because this isn't just content. This is impact. So if you're a parent trying to hold it together, if you're battling something in silence, or if you ever felt like nobody gets it, this one's for you. And do me a favor, hit the follow, drop a comment, and share with someone who needs it. That's how we reach the people who struggle quietly. So let's get into it, and welcome Candice to Raw Minds.
Yay. Hi.
There you go.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for, thank you. Well, I've been on so many of your lives and been on yours, so it's time for you to come and share your experience
Be
on
in the
mine.
hot
So
seat.
I'm excited to have you here. Yeah, sorry, my AC was on. It's a little warm in here, so that should be better. Turned it off. Before I start, I like to tell everybody where they can reach you. So if you want to plug, all your socials and stuff.
Well, you can find me mainly on TikTok with all my lives. So I've got the YouTube channel, TikTok, and Instagram. Don't know if I said that all in the same row, but have a look. There's a
Yes,
lot.
it's all down there.
Actually. Yeah, it's all there. So just have a look there. We've got a lot of different places that we're going to LinkedIn and Facebook. There's a lot of places that we're trying to reach. So we are growing, but our website and the TikTok and our YouTube is probably the best bet.
Well, I'll have everything in the bio too. So if you guys scroll down after you watch, obviously, the full episode, then you'll be able to click on the links, and whatever suits you, you can click on those ones.
Thanks.
So please tell me, who is Candice and how did you become Ninja Talks? Like, please tell us.
Okay, so basically, Candice needed to find herself, and when you become parents, you become someone's mom, and you've already been someone's daughter or someone's son or whatever it is. There's never who you are. So it's quite a loaded question and a loaded answer. And I didn't know that until I started doing TikTok. And like everyone during COVID, they're going on to TikTok and you're just scrolling and whatever. And during that time, I noticed that my youngest son, he was, I think, like between 1 and 2 years old. And he started noticing certain things when it comes to like the sensory things. So, those videos that they do, satisfaction videos, where it's like the grass is cut a certain way, and I love it. And he, at that age, started loving it as well.
Or they cut those balls and stuff, or they slice the foam and all that. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I'm like, wow. And there was one with brush cutting, right? Like the hedges. And he just was like signaling that he wants it again. But I couldn't turn the sound up, because if I turned the sound up, then he would block his ears. And it was just like a bit weird because I didn't really understand. He was diagnosed with autism fairly young, but I knew nothing. Like they throw it out at you and they go, oh yeah, he's on the spectrum. He has a sensory disorder. Here you go. And that's it. So obviously with the algorithms and things on TikTok, you just keep going through and things start popping up. And I'm like, okay, so I'm an autism mom now. I'm not just a mom. But what does that mean for me? And I'd had no help here. Doctors, everything was just during COVID, obviously, it was limited. And yeah, it was just a mess, to be quite frank. And so I had to kind of pull myself towards myself and be like, well, I'm gonna just do it on my own then. And I started going through like YouTube and TikTok and trying to figure out how I'm even gonna go about this. I knew our lives were never gonna be the same again because no one can look after your child like a parent can.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to protect him so much. So I didn't want him to go anywhere. Yeah, that's, we've had the conversation with men and women going through postpartum and post-traumatic stress during the same time for men. And it's very real. And whoever the Candice was before that and the Candice that was then, I didn't recognize anything. It just
Mm-hmm.
consumes you. And because I'm also on the spectrum, I zone and I've got ADHD. I just zone in and it becomes an obsession because you want to help your child too, and no one is helping you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just kind of went for it. And then um, I landed up having an incident.
Can I just stop you right there
Oh,
for a second? I just want to just it's on the tip of my tongue here. I did have an episode, and I spoke to you about this too, and I just want to tell the viewers if they haven't seen. But it is true, men can have postpartum, and I had an episode where it was horrible what this family went through, but it's a miracle at the end of it. And he had postpartum because of what he went through. So it's not just a woman's thing, it is men too. It
yeah,
goes hand in hand for both. So I just
it's
wanted to
very
just
much.
clarify that for everybody.
Yeah, it's very, very much real for a man. I mean, they get pushed to the
Mhm,
side. They've witnessed something crazy happen. And with us, we have experienced the feeling of being pregnant and having the baby, and your hormones and things kind of help you adjust or meant to help you adjust. But then when it comes to the men, they don't have that. So they just kind of like shell shocked. You've seen
mhm,
your partner in absolute agony. There's this new baby that you don't have any like connection with. It's the weirdest feeling for them, I should imagine. And yeah, there's a
mhm.
lot of neglect that goes on there because, like I said with me, my child becomes the one thing that I'm like, I need to fix.
Honed
Because
in on, yeah.
yeah, and they shouldn't. That's not saying that I was right. I don't need to fix my child. He's not broken. He's just
Mm,
different. But I didn't know any better. And there's a lot of blame.
mhm,
And I think on both parents' side, there's a lot of blame. Like, is it hereditary? What did I do wrong? And for a
mhm,
mother, like, was it me? Because obviously the child's inside of you. So what did you do wrong? So there's a lot of that internal conflict, I think, that happens with a mom and with a dad. And so when I was going through all of that, as well as COVID, um, I landed up having a fall at work and I had to go for surgery. This was in 2000 and was like straight after COVID. 2024 in South Africa, we were locked down so badly during COVID. Like there was no alcohol. You couldn't even buy cigarettes. Nothing.
really?
That didn't affect me, but it affected a lot of people in a lot of
Yeah.
people's homes. It was really, really bad. So I had another major operation during COVID, but that's a different situation that. So the one that made me go into Ninja Talks is the fall that I had. I ended up having 2 operations. The first one was not successful, and as far as I'm concerned, the second one wasn't successful. But during that time, I got into such a bad depression. I wasn't able to do anything for myself. And the fact that I had to ask for help and ask people that I didn't feel necessarily wanted to help. Normally the caretaker and the caregiver. So I had to put my pride in my pocket and try and ask for help, even though it really wasn't easy. And during that time, because my son was already old enough to see certain things, and he always felt like if I was sick or anything like that, he wouldn't come near me. He would stay away. And so during that time, when I all I had was my little one that I was always keeping so close to me all the time. He didn't want me near him. And
Mhm.
that was devastating. Like, I just felt like I had lost everything and now I'd lost my baby, you know? I was basically like left in the room. And because I didn't want to come out and I was in pain all the time and I was on medication. So because I didn't want to come out, then no one would come to me and just like sit and be like, are you
Mhm.
okay? Can I help you? Do you want a shower? Can I make you something? There was none of that. Eventually, when I could go out and I was able to go out and go back to work, this is like months of being indoors. I literally became a recluse. I didn't want to be around people. Really, it was difficult. And there's a video that I have pinned on my TikTok where I think I've never been that vulnerable before. This is probably like the second time. And I get pretty vulnerable on my lives, you know, like I get pretty
Oh
vulnerable.
yeah, yeah. I've been there.
Yeah, yeah. You even made me cry a few times. So I get vulnerable. And so in there, it was so difficult for me. My son had been invited to a birthday party and he was about 4, I think. And his dad took him to the birthday party and then he sent me a video of my son. His name's Denver. Everyone really knows, so that's okay. It's Denver. Um, he just had no fear whatsoever. He couldn't swim. He didn't like swimming. He didn't like the water in his face and things like that. And
Mhm.
there was a water slide, literally, it just went far down at the top of this hill and it went far down into this garden that they have. It's a massive yard. And he just jumped and went in this video. And he was so
Mhm.
happy. And I was like, this is the first time he's ever done something like this, and I'm not there. Like it freaking killed me. I was so broken. And he just kept sending me videos and videos and videos of him swimming. And there was so much noise around. Like for me to watch it was
Mhm.
quite difficult just in the sensory side of things. And there's
Yeah.
my child in the in the midst of all the noise and out of his comfort zone. And where the frick am I? Like wallowing in
Mhm.
my own sorrow at home and missing out on these huge milestones. And while I'm in it, I made a video basically to hold myself accountable because I knew if I didn't share how I was feeling, I would just let it go and I wouldn't get it done. So, sort
Mhm.
of like your app.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
For
gotta
everybody
hold
that's
yourself.
listening, I was up until 4:30 in the morning this morning, I guess, working on the app, and I started around 7 in the morning. So I'm
So if
pushing
you
it.
fall
It's almost
asleep,
there. I redid it all
if you start falling asleep while you're listening to me,
like that. Yeah. No, no, definitely not. I'm wide awake. I got a coffee. I'm ready to go. I'm okay.
you're ready
I
to go.
splash water on my face. Yeah, I'm good. I'll take probably a nap later. Though I'm okay for now.
Before you continue with your day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Maybe a little 20-minute power nap.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's basically what I did, and I posted the video and I got quite a good response back and positive things, even though because I had then said I want to do something because how do
Mhm.
parents dealing with their poor mental health deal with the children that possibly neurodivergent or whatever else is going on with them? You know, if they're not in a good headspace, how do you put yourself aside and say, well, I'm going to parent now?
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know how to do it. So I literally reached out to TikTok and I was like, help me. I'll help you. Like we can help each other. Let's do it together. Even if it's just to sit on a live and moan. That's
Mhm.
okay. Vent to each other because when it comes to moms and dads, you also have this guilt and, you know, I don't want to speak to him and he doesn't want to speak to me. And I don't want to speak to my parents because they already think that I'm a recluse and I'm not doing what I should be doing. And, you know, you don't want to tell your friends because you know your friends are going to be like, you're doing a great job,
Yeah.
but they don't
Yeah.
understand. And sometimes you just want to say, like, I'm having a crappy day, So that was
Oh,
my
yeah,
coping mechanism.
definitely.
So,
Definitely.
and that's literally how it started. I just started talking more openly, and I got so much hate for speaking openly and honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yes. There was a lot of rumors about me and my child, and just like the usual TikTok nonsense.
Normal internet troll shit that
Yeah.
people do, just hating and bored, and they
Yeah.
have shitty lives, so they just have to, project that onto other people pretty much. So if
Exactly.
you're listening and you got a shitty life and
Yeah.
doing that, like, fuck you for putting that onto other people. It's not good to do that, Take care of
Exactly.
yourself and your own mental health and stop projecting.
That
That's how
exactly.
people die all over the internet, though. It really is. Like, there's so many sad cases of, young people too taking their lives because people trolling, being bullies, because they're upset with their own lives, so they project it and just and hurt other people. And
Yeah.
it's sad because these people have nothing, like, they've never met them, but just because they don't like them for some stupid reason,
Yeah.
they have to bully them, and then they end up taking their lives. So, like,
That
figure
is
your shit out, man. Smarten up, man.
exactly. We calling you now. We are calling you out on this.
Yeah,
It is like
exactly.
that. And you know how many of the lives that I do with when it comes to bullying, men's mental health, my word. I've got like chills, right? Because men's mental health is so important to me. And I was so like, I was really stoked when you came into my life. I'm like, yes. And you join and I'm like, how did you find me? I was like, this algorithm's amazing. So, and that's when I had just started as well. And I still wasn't like quite
Mhm.
sure where to go, because obviously there's a lot of moms that come to the party, but what about the dads? I have got a lot of
Mhm.
close friends that I have met on TikTok that are single dads, or they're not single, they're in a relationship, but they also feel the same way where you can't possibly speak to your partner without
Yeah.
things going a bit pear-shaped. So it's
Well,
just,
can I say something?
yeah,
One of the hardest thing, I'm actually just tearing up thinking about it right now, is one of the hardest things that no one talks about being a single dad, especially, is, for me, I had my daughters on the weekend. So Sundays were the worst days for me. The worst days, because my daughter used to cry all the way from my house. I would have to drive her to her mom's, and she would cry and she would hold my hand and she would beg me, just beg me not to go and just to stay with me. And nobody talks about those days. And I would hold it together. Her mom would literally have to rip her off of me. Like, she was holding on, and her mom would just have to rip her off of me, and she would shut the door because that's the way her mom was. But she would rip her off and just shut the door, and I would just probably sit in my car and cry for like 15 minutes. And nobody talks about those, like how hard it is for us, to be able to
yeah,
hand over our kids, and and that's hard. It's super hard, and we don't talk about that. We don't talk, because it hurts us, and as men, we
yeah.
just bottle that shit in. But that's a really, it's sad. It's a hard time in a lot of for single moms too. Don't get me wrong, it goes both ways, but this is just my story and what I went through.
Yeah, but you know what? I think there's a lot of talk about single moms and just not enough about single dads. And, I've got, like I was saying, I have really been blessed. Like, I don't know what it is, but people people are saying to me like, why am I talking to you? How did this happen? I'm just like spewing
Mhm.
stuff that I would have never told anybody. And now you're some stranger and I'm like divulging my life story to you. And I'm like, I don't know. As you know, I love the Lord. I am here. I sit here and I'm just a vessel. I pray about it and I'm like, whoever comes a knocking. And then they get in the
Yeah,
box and the next minute it's just like blah, 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 blah. So it's not my
I've
fault.
seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
And
But
it's,
I
ooh,
want to know, like, how did you get, though, into the men's space? Like, did you just kind of fall into that, or like, is
I had
because
a
you're advocate
really
because you have your own
great
like that?
following. The men really responded. Um, to more, I think during that time, men were also sitting at home during the COVID side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are sitting at home and you're sitting with kids, and it's not just neurodivergent kids, but just parenting in general. With our wonderful algorithms, it just keeps bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up. And by the time that I wasn't even Ninja Talks. It was just me having conversations before I had all these epiphanies, and I was like, okay, I want to do it. Just from me talking about it and putting hashtags, whatever, I got a lot of men coming in that are parents, single parents, or married in a relationship, but parents. And then and I got a lot of American followers, and I got the best feedback from American men that were coming in, and they were like, wow, you from South Africa? I'm like, yeah. And I said, how did you find me? And like, you were one of them. And trying to do men's mental health in South Africa is not easy. So South
Really?
African men, Afrikaans South African men, brought up, like most, you boys don't cry. You need to be tough. You are the breadwinner. You need to do A, B, C, and D, and don't show your emotions. So it's literally in them from like the get-go. So when I would try and get into it, I had more of the American men come and speak, right? I think you were the first
Yeah.
Canadian that jumped into the box, but I had all the American guys coming in and talking, and I was like, wow, this is like liberating for all of us, because I never knew that men could talk like this,
Yeah, because you're
And
not experiencing that back home, right? And now that this TikTok is giving you this platform, now you get to
yeah,
talk to these men from across the seas. Oh, crazy. Okay.
yeah. And I was like, maybe if I just start talking like a little bit more. And then I did. Was, and yes, like I said, I did get hate, and people were like, oh, you mustn't speak about these things, and you're going to steal people's husbands. I'm like, listen, that's the last thing on my mind. I'm like, that's their problem. And, you're going to give people the wrong idea, and don't speak about your face. Don't speak about parenting. There was a lot of things, but you had to speak about it. You got to make people uncomfortable. And then sometimes they retaliate in not so pleasant ways, but they eventually come around. And a lot of the men that came in, some would put this guard up. They would hang around in the comments.
Mhm.
And some would hang around for months and just be like, hi, and that's it. And then slowly but surely, one day, they just like, hi. And they get in the box and they just tell me their stories. And
It's
I'm
almost
like,
like layers getting peeled off slowly till
yeah,
they
it's
can
like they
yeah.
want to know you. So,
Yeah, I think that what I was gonna say is they're trying to find out who you are and if they can actually really trust. Because as a man, it's really hard to like come out and be vulnerable, right?
yeah.
And a little behind the scenes is like when I do meet my guests, I am vulnerable. I tell them about my experiences, and it helps other people open up as well, And
Mm,
I'm showing you, you know what I mean? And this is a safe space. So it's
yeah.
okay for you to show yourself and know that this is
Exactly.
judgment free.
And that's what I
Mhm.
found, is that the more vulnerable I was and real, right? Like I have said
Mhm.
to people before, and I've said to you, when I have these conversations and I do briefing calls before majority of if I don't know people, I will do a briefing call just like what we did the
Yeah,
other
you
day.
vet them.
Yeah. And yes, and vet them. And then, and they can ask me. This is them getting to know me, and vice versa, and being like, okay, are we going to do this? Are you comfortable? What you can and can't talk about? And then we go from there. And I think that's like a make or break moment, is that you're now not on a live. I am not Ninja. I am Candice. There's no filters. It is what it is. Ask me what you need to ask me, and
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you, so that when we're on the live, I know what I can and can't go to. But I don't want to
Mhm.
hear your whole story until we are live. I just need to
Yeah.
hear significant parts so that
Just
I
the
can help.
shell. The shell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
also because,
exactly.
sometimes you need to lead someone's conversation, because they will get like freaked out. So you have
Yeah.
to
Oh yeah.
lead them into conversation. And let me tell you, the stories, the people, my mind is blown that there is so much trauma and heartache. And incredible humans. Wow. Incredible humans that have opened up and shared their story. And I mean, I was freaking nervous about today. And
Mhm.
when people would say to me, I'm so nervous, like, what you going to do? How are you going to do that? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, it's just me. What do you mean? It's just me. Like, no, you're
That's what I
Ninja.
told you. I'm like, nobody's watching this. Don't worry about it. Nobody's watching this. Just be yourself.
No, nobody's watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not live and nobody's watching this right now, so don't
Yeah.
worry.
No
Hi
one's staying on
everybody
the
that's
For You
live, by the way, I just
page.
want to say.
So yeah, and I was just like, they are being vulnerable. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna listen
Thank you.
to their stories and then relate with them. Have that back and forth like we do. I mean, we giggle like it's ridiculous when we have our
Oh yeah, we have a great
conversations.
time.
We are very inappropriate.
Yeah, we will for people that don't know, like we've done multiple lives now together.
Yeah.
On TikTok, and it's always a great time, and it's always on men's mental health, and we touch on different topics all the time, which I think is great. And you know what I want to point out too, I think is awesome, is you actually have a little secret weapon in your back pocket, and you got Chris, right? And Chris is great. He comes on and he gives his, so Chris is great,
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
actually. I'm waiting for him to send an email because I would love for him to be on the show. But so
I wonder
I don't
if
know if you want to explain a little bit.
You guys in the chat, can
Maybe.
you share it to Chris if he hasn't been here? Because I'm like looking at my phone to see because I can't
Yeah.
see here, but I'm looking there. So if you can invite Chris, then we can tell him directly. But
But
he's
I think
amazing.
it's great because you gotta he's a doctor, correct? Right? He's a
So
doctor on your team, correct?
he's one of them that I thought was the rudest person ever. He would come in my life. He would not greet me. But there was a mutual friend of ours that was in my life, and he would greet her, gift her, and then leave. And I'm like, who is this human? I was like, wow. And then months and months and months later, he didn't even follow me. Nothing. It was literally, he came in to see my friend. And the next day, like one random day, he popped in and he was like, yeah, so I lost 2 children. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you've never even said hello to me, and now you're in a box and you've lost 2 children. I'm so sorry. And so we got chatting, and he really has. He is my secret weapon. He's amazing. So I
Yeah.
asked him. I said to him, what do you do for a living? And he actually was a nurse in the ER. That's how he started in the emergency room.
I just want to say, because I got the TikTok open. Yes, Chris, she is talking about you. She can't see you on here, but I don't know. Yes. But yeah, I just wanted to address that. So he is live in the chat right now.
I can see him on my TikTok.
We're saying good things about you, Chris. Don't worry. And I'm just wondering when you're going to send me that email so I can get you on here too.
Hint,
I'd love
hint.
to have that conversation we talked about.
And then I was like, oh, really? And then he said, oh, yeah, I got tagged. He said, I got tagged. What do you mean you got tagged? And
Yeah,
then
some send them over.
Oh, maybe. And then he said to me, yeah, no, I'm a lab scientist. And I'm like, what? Like, for real? You're a scientist? Okay. I was like, well, how do you go from like an ER nurse and then to a scientist? He's just so full of knowledge. I love it. And if he doesn't know, he will go and find out. And he's got access to, doctors and whatever is necessary there. And I mean, he's always willing to help. Always. Listen, people, you can ask Chris. He'll be like in the middle of something really important. I won't go into details, but it involves like medical things. Let's just say
I seen him. He was on video in his scrubs, and he came on real quick and helped. Like did blah blah blah. Told you real quick, and then left.
He'll come out and he's like, "Okay, I have to
lots
hurry."
of love
but
to Chris.
There you go, Chris. You're an amazing human. I just love you so much. And yeah, he's awesome. And if there's anyone that ever needs like questions answered. I mean, the amount of work that he has done for my followers and my friends and my family to do with neurodivergence. And wow, honestly, I don't know how I would ever be able to thank him for what he has done, his advice, his knowledge. Just, yeah, he's an incredible human. So you guys all need to follow Chris, not for what he's capable of doing, but just because he's a really amazing human.
You're a human. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, your whole
he's
team,
great.
you got a whole team behind you actually in TikTok, right? So
Yeah,
I want to just, point out too, like you got a whole team, a whole followers, a whole support group that you've created.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a village. Yeah, you really do. And that's the power of TikTok. And that's how I met you. And a lot of people like me, I'm 42 years old. Last year I thought I was 42. So I'm 42 two times now, apparently. But so
Well done.
yeah, so anyways, and when I first started this podcast, Joey, when I first started, he's like, "Oh, you got to get on TikTok," and I was like, "Fuck that shit!" Like, I'm like, "That shit's for kids."
Yeah,
Like, I'm not getting on that. Like, no, it's for kids, right?
yeah,
And he pushed me, and finally I broke. And I mean, it's great. Like, I've met so many wonderful people. It's helped my channel grow. It's helped, help people. I've helped people.
yeah,
People have helped me. It's a great place to like create a community. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we said, there is trolls and shit like that. But in
yeah,
life, you're gonna get that everywhere. There's trolls. You know what I mean? In
exactly.
real life, there's trolls. On the internet, there's trolls. Whatever, right?
Yeah,
But I mean, it's just a
exactly.
great community, and like you've built this wonderful community with people that help each other, and people come into your lives,
Yeah.
and men, especially men, they come in and you guys all band together and help one each other and the guests that you have on. I think it's amazing. I really do.
And
So
you
I just
know
want to
what?
give a shout out to your community there.
Yeah, I appreciate each and every one of them. Guys, Ninja Talks would not be Ninja Talks without all of you. Because when I'm having a really bad day and you guys are there, or you could just come in and you could literally, they know my faces that I have. My expressions, everyone knows like what's
Like, oh,
happening in my brain. I'll get like
I'm just
texts and
playing.
stuff like, "Is everything okay?" Or, yeah, unfortunately, this is a problem sometimes. And they have all learnt these like quirks of mine. And I mean, I get a lot of flack sometimes when they go like, "Why do you lick your lips or bite your lips or raise your eyebrow or look to the side or whatever?" I'm like, it's called neurodivergence, people. So, and now that like my friends and people that are helping part of the team and stuff, or the community and the movement is, they all know these things and they all used to like rip me off. And sometimes they'll still do it just like as a joke. But we've all gotten to know each other really well. And I know that they have my back, especially the men.
It's a
Like,
family.
they,
And you know what's wild about it though is like half you don't like you've never like I'm saying like you've never met a lot of these people or maybe even all of them, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
but you
Do
all
you know?
have the same mindset and it's amazing.
Well, this is the thing, okay? I've hardly met anybody. This last weekend, I met Odie. Now, Odie is like one of my OGs. He's literally been with me, and he just says to me, he's like, "Girl, I got you. Like, it doesn't matter."
Mhm.
And it was the first time that I met him was this weekend. And may I say something about him quickly, like a brief how we know each other
Yeah,
and stuff?
please. I know Odie's awesome.
He's
Yeah, yeah,
he is
please.
awesome. So the one thing, he was always in my lives. He was always supporting me, but I just knew him from my lives. I didn't know him off of TikTok. And he was a moderator though, an amazing moderator. And then I used to do lives on a Sunday evening where people could request songs, and I had a singer that would come on, Dick Don, he's amazing. And he would perform these songs, whatever covers you wanted and whatnot. So Odie happened to DM me because we hadn't exchanged numbers. And he DM'd me and he said, "Could this be one of the songs that gets played?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll submit it and we'll see if Dick Don can use it by this, get you know all the chords and things for this evening." And I said to him, "It's a really beautiful song." He's like, "It was my wife's favorite." And I was like, what do you mean was? Because she used to be on the live. Like he would always, you could hear her in the background and hear his son in the background. And there he'd be moderating like a boss for me. And I was like, what do you mean was? And he said to me, she passed away. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean she passed away? Like this gets to me. And I know I'm sorry it's gonna probably trigger you, but he said he basically he told me the story or like the events. And I said to him, but Odie, you were in my life. You were modding for me. And he said to me, I told you I got you. And I was like,
Oh,
what? I said, this is crazy, Odie. I'm so sorry. And I don't think that he understood what that meant to me because I just couldn't fathom that he went through such an ordeal. He lost his life partner so suddenly. And they've got a son together. And now he's all of a sudden a single dad and a working single dad, like overnight.
I know it's hard. I feel for him. My whole body is just in shivers right now. I feel for him.
Right?
It's
And I didn't know what to
yeah,
do.
I know.
Like I didn't know what to do. And I said to him, but Odie, you were in my live on the Wednesday. You were in my live on Thursday. You were in my live on the Friday. You were in my live on Saturday. It's now Sunday. He's like, and I will be in your live. And I'm just like, and I know that yes, he was definitely there supporting me, but to know that it was also a safe place for him to be, that for me was so important. And I was just like, you know what, all of you trolls or anyone that has told me no, you can't do this, don't show emotion, A, B, C, or D. The fact that I've had the opportunity of meeting people like you, like Odie, like Chris, like Niku, like Calvin. I can't even mention everybody, but all of these people that, I mean, it's incredible. And the fact that we only met this weekend is mad because he also doesn't even live that far away from me. So, and I think
Crazy.
I was also super
Crazy.
nervous because I'm like, listen, don't put me on a pedestal. Eh? I tell everybody, I'm like, I'm just
Hold
Candice.
on. I just want to show you something here because someone said this in the chat. So I just want to. I don't know if you see that, but it says that they got you. Can you see
Who
that?
said
Does
that?
it show up on your screen?
No, I'm looking.
May time in the chat in the on Riverside, but someone just typed in that they got you. I don't know exactly who, but I just want to let you know that people got you and they're proud of you.
Thanks. Is it on your side?
It's on Riverside, so it comes up. Someone on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Great
I
stuff.
do want to talk a little bit. I want to say I got some exciting news, and I think I already told you, but so I've been fighting for years since I've had my daughter in my custody. In Canada, you're allowed you get a $6,000 grant from the government if your child has autism. My daughter has autism.
Yeah.
And she suffers from ODD, ADHD. It's very low on the spectrum, but I mean, it's ODD. If you ever dealt with someone with ODD, it's very difficult, very, very difficult. But then again, I mean, who in the hell wants to be told no, anyways, right? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly. I think
you
all
know,
of us
yeah,
have a bit of it.
yeah. At the end of the day, maybe it's a bit of a made up thing. I don't know if it's another way for
Someone
people.
just stuck a
I don't
label
know.
there.
Yeah, I think like put that one there, put one over here. I don't know,
Exactly.
but I mean it is difficult. Don't get me wrong, like it is difficult, and I don't know if it's maybe because of the trauma that she went through with her mom when living with her mom as well.
Yeah.
I mean it's probably a handful of everything, right? All at once. But so she's on the spectrum and her mom has the password to this portal which grants you $6,000 grants. So I've been trying to get a behavioral specialist for my daughter for a long time, right, to help her. And then also she loves horses. I put her in a horse camp every summer. She goes in this horse camp. She stays there for a week. But
Wow.
there's other camp, yeah, and it helps her. Horses are amazing. Horses are everything to her. Like she's been
Wow.
going to this horse camp since she was like I think 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, something like that. So she's eventually gonna work there. I think next year she's at the age where she can like work there as like a kid. So
That's
she's
so
excited to do that.
cool.
But yeah, yeah. So and so they have like all these things that for horses and all this that I can use as funding for. But her mom would just not let me give me the password and I finally was able to put everything in my name. It took forever, years, even though my daughter was in my care. It took years. Now I have it. Now I got the portal. I'm getting all the paperwork, everything next week. I can start going through, start getting her the behavioral specialist, all these. This is huge in my life, like huge. I've been fighting this forever,
Crazy.
and it's finally just gonna open up, and everything's like my daughter's gonna get the help that she needs,
Oh,
right? It's amazing. I want to ask, like, I know we spoke a little bit, but do you have like stuff like that for you in South Africa? Is there anything similar or anything like that to help, parents?
that's a huge issue. So there is basically a disability, which we were talking about last night. We just hate that word, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
A disability grant. It's not much, but it's extremely difficult. Just like you said, how hard it is to get the grants. But I mean, you've got different circumstances with your, her mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To try and get this is an absolute nightmare. There is somebody that I met on here as well, Amanda. She is actually assisting people with the documentation.
Oh wow.
Nothing is for free though. So not with her per
Yeah, of
se,
course.
but she's literally wanting to help people. But when you get through the process of that, and now you've got to get records and letters and reports and
Mm-hmm.
things from the doctors. I mean, everything costs money and it's atrocious. And you see,
Mm-hmm.
autism is not recognized as prescribed minimum benefit. Like you get a prescribed minimum benefit for acute things, okay? And there is nothing for autism. So depression is also, there's nothing for depression. So I was told straight out, when my child was way younger than this, literally like 4, the doctor said, well, we can put him down as bipolar and then your medication will get covered, but he is too young to diagnose him. What?
Really?
Yeah. So I must now go and say that my child is bipolar. Meantime, he's not.
When he
I'm bipolar. But just so that the medical aid, like our medical insurance, that you pay a fortune for, that not everyone is able to pay for. But like in South Africa, you need it. It's like you're damned if you do and you're
Yeah.
damned if you don't. But I would rather have
Oh,
it
I
for,
can imagine.
yeah, I would, if I didn't have it, yeah, no. If you've
See, in
got it,
Canada,
kids, you have
everything's
to.
free. Yeah, in
Yeah,
Canada,
don't
it's
rub
all
it
free
in
here. I mean,
now.
we pay well, but it's not like technically it's not free because we pay our taxes, right? And the taxes go to it, right?
We pay our
But
taxes too.
the
Goes
problem,
nowhere.
well, it's probably going into their pockets. Let's be real here, right?
I say
But
nothing.
yeah, I will. I don't give a shit. You fucking guys are all scumbags. It's the truth.
I'm innocent,
It's the truth. What can I
but
say?
I agree.
I totally lost track where I was going with that now. I
With
totally, yeah.
the costs, the medical costs, and medical
Yeah,
aid
yeah.
is
I mean,
for free.
it's yeah. I mean, so in Canada though, but it's technically free. The weights are horrendous, to be able to do it. Like just to get my daughter like tested for
Yeah.
autism, it's anywhere between 2 years to 6 years, anywhere between that, just to get it
What?
tested. Yeah, we were really lucky. Yeah, yeah, it's a whole process. Like it took forever, like the test, but then it's crazy. And then like
Oh my
so and
gosh.
in some of these programs, so now I have this money, now I have like the portal to do the grant, but the wait list for these programs and all these other things are huge too. Some of them are 3, 4, 5 years, you know what I mean? Because it's
My
just
word.
flooded, right?
Yeah.
Flooded. So just because it's free doesn't mean it's good, right? Because now it's free, so everybody can take advantage of it. And there's people that are taking advantage of it that don't even need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
Mm.
sad. It's really sad at the end of the day. And it's
It
so,
is.
I mean, it's a big win, but now it's now waiting. Like even for a behavioral specialist, you're looking months to years in some of them, you know? Like I had this lady, like I had her on hold. Like she was keeping a spot for me, but I had to let her go because it was taking too long for the process. And finally now I have
Yeah.
it. So it's really hard to like book all that.
Yeah,
It
that's
really is. So
crazy. But then
yeah. I mean, you go to the
it's going,
hospitals, so
yeah.
well, some of the wait lists in the hospitals be like from like 6 hours to like 24 hours are like people when you go to emergency, when you go to the and go to get checked out, some of the waits from like 6 to like 24 hours. We have
Yeah,
people
that's
dying in the
crazy.
waiting room here because the waits are too long. People are dying in the waiting room. It's ridiculous. It's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm shocked. That was my shocked face.
Yeah. People from Canada are going to the States and paying for like if you need like an MRI or something like that, they're actually going to the States and paying money so they can get it done faster instead of waiting like 6 months to years. It's so
Wow.
it's not as great as people think, you know. It's convenient at times, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but at other times it sucks. It really does suck.
Can I
But
ask about like the schooling and things? Do you have to pay for schooling?
no,
Nothing.
no, but the schooling sucks. The daycares and stuff like that, obviously. But the schooling sucks. I think the whole schooling system sucks. All schools sucks. I don't think kids should be there for 8 hours, you know. And starting at 8 in the morning, like we weren't made to start at 8 in the morning and start learning at that time. If you look it up, we weren't, you know.
Mm.
What the and it's the school teaches you to be in line, you know, to be a sheep in line. That's why all the desks are in line. That's why you have to raise your hand, you know, to ask a question. They're teaching you to obey rules. They're not teaching you to explore, you know, and become yourself and become an entrepreneur and stuff like that, right? There's this
Yeah,
there's this thing
100%.
there's this YouTube video. Yeah. And it says what it is you can't tell a fish to climb a tree. And that's what they're trying to do. Like the whole school system sucks. Like I think it's Denmark. They go to school, I think, for 4 hours a day. There's no homework, and all the students there are top of the line. Like they are. It's amazing. You know, it really is. Like
And it
Denmark
works.
is the way of the future. Yeah,
And
yeah,
they kids are
definitely.
not wanting to
Yeah,
rebel and hate
yeah,
school and do all of that. I'm just
exactly. I,
assuming
I
because,
even
you know.
I, I think there too. I just saw something. It might not be Denmark. It might not. Oh, TikTok. Yes. No. I'm still here. Denmark. I think it's Denmark. They're closing down jails because they don't need them open anymore. They're literally closing down jails because I don't quote me on this, but put it in the chat. You know, put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys if it is, if it's not. But I'm pretty sure I saw it. It was Denmark.
That is
But yeah, they're closing jails
crazy.
because yeah,
We'll
yeah,
just
yeah,
send like our
yeah.
prisoners then to whatever country this is.
Well, we did that. Well, we didn't, but I mean, they do that to Australia, and
Yeah.
that didn't go well, right?
Well,
Back in the day or something. I think that's
yeah,
how it was,
they
but
Australia went to the UK. Australians.
yeah, or something. I don't know. To be honest, I dropped out of high school. You know, I don't really. I mean, I know real life. This like you know whatever. So make fun of me. Say whatever. I don't care. At the
Like
end of the day,
you went to the school of hard knocks.
hell right side. If yeah, got that right. Got that right.
You
Well,
see?
I do want to say that we are at the end here. And
Thanks.
I told you it wasn't gonna be bad. And I told you
I
nobody
only
would be
cried a little.
watching. You know, I told you, right? Yeah. Well, I just want to say though, thank you so much for coming on. I just want to say also thank you for having me on all your lives and letting me be a part of your show and helping others too. And I
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
So
Thank you. And you are welcome anytime. I love it that you can just pop in, and even if it is for a short moment, you always make the effort. So I appreciate it. And everyone on my live loves you anyway. So that's a bonus.
I appreciate that. You have a great team. Got a great team. I have nothing but
Thank you.
respect
I
for
do.
all of them. I
I
appreciate them.
do. Thank
Appreciate them.
you.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much. And this is the second episode too of this week. I dropped 2 this week because why the fuck not? That's what I do.
Exactly.
So I just want to say exactly, right? So thank you everybody. We will see you next weekend and next week. Sorry. Yeah. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Raw Minds. Men's Mental Health. Hosted by Erick. Follow, subscribe, like, share. For the ones we never meet, you're not alone.